What's going on, beautiful and lovely people of God? It's your boy BJ Barry coming to you once again with another video. And as you can see, today is a special day. Today is a celebration for me. At the time that I'm recording this video, it is my birthday. I'm officially turning 30 years old. So, for all those who may be watching this video, if you can, please like, share, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I also, in the comment section, if you want to leave your boy some birthday love, please feel free to comment and leave your boy some birthday love, and I truly appreciate it. Um, this video that I'm coming with you guys today is very special and very near and dear to my heart, and you'll see by the title that the video is going to be titled "I Am." And the reason why I named the video "I Am," the reason why it's so special and near to me is because um, God placed it on my heart like way before my birthday was approaching to make sure that I share my testimony and make sure that I share with you guys who I am and who God has made me and who God has created me throughout, um, so as a birthday gift, not to myself, I wanted to come to you guys and share my testimony and share just exactly who I am and how I've gotten to this point in my life and where God has me at right now. So for those who don't know, my name is Barry Leon Tilwell II. I was born obviously on March 3rd, but I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, moved to Atlanta, well, the Atlanta area when I was like around 11 years old and everything. Moved here with my grandparents, my mother, my aunt, and of course my little brother, Bryson. Um, didn't really have my pops growing up like that until I turned 16. When we found each other on Facebook, believe it or not. And since then, I've had a connection and a relationship with my father. But growing up, not having my pops around was difficult at times. And I say difficult at times because for me, I always looked to family and I always looked at the ones that were in front of me for support, for love, for guidance. You know, I'm not a shy person per se in the sense of speaking and saying what I have to say, but I was shy growing up because growing up I was teased a lot, you know, for personal reasons. I mean, just being transparent. I mean, you guys see my smile, so um, not taking care of myself when I was younger, being very behaving very lazy, not taking care of myself. I was teased, you know, all the way up until adulthood, really, so it made me not, it made me want to have friends, but I didn't really have friends, put it like that. Um, but anyway, growing up, seeing how my mom worked, took care of me and my little brother, made me have an appreciation for her, and made me have an appreciation for making sure that I work hard, seeing my uncle Donald work hard. All my family members, Monty Robin, Monty Paula, Uncle Greg, my Uncle Eddie, my grandfather who was a mechanic, my grandmother who worked for the city of Chicago for many years till they retired and stuff. Even my Aunt Sandra before she unfortunately was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and stuff. I just learned at an early age that even though I had lazy tendencies and would behave lazy, when I put my mind to something and when I put in the effort to do something, you know, I put a lot into it and I put my all into it. So it was like there was this greatness I knew I could achieve, but there was something always within myself keeping me from fully maximizing that greatness. But anyway, got here to Atlanta, started trying to make new friends, lost a little bit of weight. People started liking me, started wanting to get around me and stuff. And but I still felt like I was awkward. I still felt like I was left out. Still felt like I wasn't one of the popular dudes, or people, really didn't like me because I would still get teased. And then, like, of course, as you get older, as a young man, you start having girls approach you, or you start to approach girls and they start giving you feedback and stuff. You know how it go. You basically just start seeing, you know, you start growing into the person who you are and who you want to be. And for me, I didn't know who I wanted to be. I didn't know my purpose. And because I didn't have my purpose, I was always second guessing myself and who I was and the things that I do. So what I found myself doing a lot was I found myself following the crowd a lot. If I hung around some people who smoke, then I smoke. If I hung around some people who like to cuss a lot, I was cussing a lot. If I found myself hanging around people that wanted to skip school, then I skip school. You know, um, I just was always um, trying to make people want me, make people want to acknowledge me, make people want to have a relationship with me, all because of my own self-doubt. And I didn't appreciate who I was. I didn't have a love for myself that I was trying to feel with other people. So instead of feeling validated within myself, I was going around trying to get other people to validate me, trying to get other people to speak good things about me and who I was and everything, which caused me to do a lot of manipulation, caused me to do a lot of lying, a lot of cheating, a lot of hurting to my family, friends, in different relationships. And I'm not just talking about, and in this part, I'm not just talking about in my early days. I'm talking about even into my adulthood. It's been so many relationships that, and so many people that I've hurt along the way because I was, I was always trying to get people to want to be around me. I wanted people to validate me and to tell me who I was because I didn't know who I was. And for the longest time, it messed up a lot of good things for me. And when I say messed up a lot of good things for me, meaning as in the confidence to do things such as this right here, such as come to you guys in this video, such as come to you guys on YouTube and share what's in my heart and share what God has placed in me. I wouldn't be confident doing it because I always felt like I wasn't enough, that I wasn't good enough, that I couldn't do it, and that I wasn't worthy of it. Especially when it came to doing anything for God. I bring that point up because at the age of 15, 16 years old, I gave my life to Christ. And I knew that I wanted to serve God. And I knew I wanted to please God in my living and in my doing. So when I started messing up and started doing things, I would always constantly beat myself up. I would be harder on myself than anybody else would. I was my own worst critic because I had to face within the mirror, because what people could see on the outside looked nice and looked presentable and looked respectable. But to me, knowing who I was, looking at the man in the mirror, I was like, nah, you trash, you this, you a liar, you this and that. I'm gonna take a pause right there because that's another reason why I came up, why I named the title I Am, because I would say those things to myself. I am a liar. I am a cheat. I am foolish. I am ignorant. I am angry. I am sad. I am depressed. I had those type of thoughts for such a while that it just started to pour out of me. Whether on Facebook, social media, if people who like to, people like to go back to, your old Facebook and your old tweets and all this stuff to look back to bring up stuff that you said. You ain't gotta look it up. I'll tell you right now. I used to be so depressed and so upset. I used to make comments, about people not loving me, people not being around me, people not wanting to speak to me, and me just wanting to give my love to people and stuff. Just a bunch of depressing stuff that I was just feeling on the inside. And, all those thoughts and all those things came to a head when I would start to have suicidal thoughts of, maybe it'd just be best if I wasn't here in this world. maybe it'd be just best if I wasn't here to hurt these people. I'm not being successful in nothing. I'm not doing anything to stand out. I'm not doing anything that, will make my family or myself or God proud. So why should I be here? That's how deep down into my depression and into my self-doubt, and how the enemy has had me into my feelings. It had me so caught up in thinking by the flesh, because I wasn't thinking spiritual at the time. It was all about the flesh, what I feel, what I can see. So it came a point where God had to intervene for me. And when God intervened for me is when I really started focusing and listening to church and to the messages that I was hearing from God, listening to more gospel music, being around more positive people, and realizing and slowly but surely starting to realize who I was, and that if I truly wanted to be great, being out of this world isn't gonna help me be great. Committing suicide wasn't gonna help me be great. So started getting into adulthood, started working, started doing positive things, just normal things, getting more involved in church. And to me, the biggest thing that helped change who I was and who I am today is, I want to say when I turned 25, I'm working at Delta, making decent money, helping my moms out. We taking care of each other and everything. But it came a point where I was in a couple bad relationships. And I say bad because of where they left me. One relationship, I cheated, messed that up. Another relationship, God was telling me get out of, and I couldn't explain why. Couldn't explain to the young lady, but I got out of it. And then Master Life, the Master Life class at our church came up. Did that, started doing that. And because I started falling back into the flesh and wanting a relationship so bad, it caused me to stop being focused on the Master Life class, and I ended up dropping out. Once I dropped out and I started trying to focus on getting back the relationship, I noticed that I would fight for the relationship, but it wasn't happening. That person had moved on and everything else. And so the new year came up and I'm just like, man, you know what? Something has got to change. Something's got to change. I got to change. I got to make a difference. And I said, you know what? It's a lustful spirit in me that I just got to get rid of. Because meanwhile, I'm, to another quick note to drop this in, me beating, part about me beating myself up. I used to beat myself up a lot because of my lustful spirit, and because I can admit this and be transparent with you guys, I was addicted to porn. I would watch it almost on a daily basis. And when you do something like that, and you know how God feels about you, and you know that it's not right, and that those type of things can lead to other demons, can lead to other sinful actions, there was a constant struggle and battle every day. Because my mind will bring those images and bring those thoughts up. And I'm sitting there fighting and saying, no, that's not who I want to be. I don't want to think that right now. Until finally you cave in, until finally I will cave into my flesh. Let me speak to those real quick, for those who may be battling, addictions or fleshly battles. First thing I want you to know is your flesh doesn't have dominion over you. You do. You have dominion over your mind, over your flesh and over your actions. You have the control. No matter what that addiction, no matter what the enemy may be trying to put in your ear to tell you that you don't, you do. You have control. You can control it, and you can overcome it. But first, you have to believe that you can, and that you will also. For many years, I didn't believe that I could, and I would get over this and get past that. Which leads me back into the story. So when the new year starts, I say, okay, you know what? I wanna change. I wanna be different. And a particular young lady at my church, who from the first moment I saw her, I wanted to pursue her and, talk to her. After a couple of years of not fully invested into trying, I tried. That young lady just happened to be my wife, Tiffany. Being with her made me change everything. It made me become celibate, which was a good thing for me. It made me change how I speak. I no longer cuss. It made me change how I treat other people and how I look at myself. Because she was always encouraging me and always making me believe in myself and not speak down on myself and believe in who I am and in the man that I am. As you can see, I have this lovely surprise right here, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but on the balloons, it says, "Happy birthday, my king." She made me believe, she helped me to believe that I am a king and who I am in God, and that I can do all things through Christ, and that I wasn't this bad dude. So fast forward, we're in a relationship, we dated for about a year. I always joke with Tiffany about this. Tiffany made me date her for a year before we officially became into a relationship, and then we was in a relationship for a year, got engaged, then got married. But the problem still remains. I still have a lustful spirit, still watching porn, and it's causing an issue in our marriage because instead of desiring my wife, I'm desiring my own selfish desires. And so being with her, listening to God messages and New Vision, getting closer to God, speaking to ministers and everything, God just spoke to me one day. I was laying on the couch and God just spoke to me, and I was praying to God, and I just told him, God, I really just want to be rid of this. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to feel this way anymore. And he simply just told me, then speak it. Then speak it. So after that moment, I just started speaking into myself and over those things. Whenever the images would come up, I would speak, you have to leave. I would not be controlled with my flesh. I would not allow the enemy to beat me up this way. I would not allow the enemy to cause me to do something that moves out of the will of God. And eventually, it got to the point where I got past it. I stopped watching porn, stopped having a desire to watch it, and I was able to get better when it came to controlling my emotions and my feelings and my desires. Not perfect, but better. I'm not gonna lie to you guys and act like it's not a battle, or it's not things that there won't be things that you're gonna be struggling with. We all have a thorn that we have to deal with. But here's the thing about that thorn that I want you guys to think about and remember. Though it may be a thorn, though it may be something that bothers you, that pricks at you, that affects you and afflicts you daily, that thorn causes you to cry out to God, and causes you to cry out to our Father, and causes you to speak to our Father on a daily basis. And our Father strengthens you and encourages you and imparts his love and his spirit, his strength in you. So if you have a thorn, if you have something you're dealing with and battling with, whether it's mental, or spiritually or whatever, don't be afraid of it. don't allow it to keep you quiet. Cry out to the Lord. Cry out to our God. Cry out to your Father who loves you unconditionally, because he will give you the strength to overcome those things, and it will be part of your testimony. So we fast forward all so you know, cause I really don't want to make this video longer than it has to be, but we fast forward to where we are right now, March 3rd, 2021. 30-year-old man who this year decided that he would seek counseling to deal with the other things that he had faced, which was the most important thing, more than the porn, the self-love that I never had for myself, the appreciation for myself that I never had. I'm telling you guys, through reading the Word of God and through counseling, I've grown to know that my Father loves me unconditionally, and that I am free to love myself, free to care about myself, free to worship, free to do what he's called me to do, free to speak the things that he's placed on my spirit, free to just be myself and who I am, and know that it's good enough, and that that God loves me for who I am, that he loves the man I am, and that because I love him and because I want to please him and do what he's called me to do, he has blessed me with so much, with a loving spirit. He's blessed me with a loving wife, with loving family members, surrounding me with people who pour into me the way I pour into them, surrounding me with encouragers, surrounding me with a support system. And most of all, the greatest thing I believe he's given me is his spirit and his love and his desire to do the things that he's called me to do. Which is why this year I've started doing so many videos, which is why I'm coming to you guys today, because the old me would have been afraid to tell you my story and to tell you the things that I grew up dealing with, to tell you the fears that I had, the old me would not want to express this, would not feel like I could do this or that it would go over well or whatever the case may be. But the man that God has me today, the man that God has molded me into today, I have no fear. I have no reservations, because I know who I am. And who I am is God's child. Who I am is a man of God. Who I am is wonderfully and fearfully made. Who I am is pleasing unto my God. Who I am is someone who desires to spread the gospel and spread the love that God has placed on the inside of me, and to allow the Holy Spirit to use me however he so chooses. Who I am is someone who encourages you to look deep within yourself and allow God to use you. No matter the pain, no matter the struggle, no matter what you've been through, no matter the afflictions, the hurt, the damage you think you caused that's too much to be forgiven, I'm a living testimony and a living witness that God doesn't care about any of it. As long as you have a willing and obedient heart, he will use you and bring you out of it. So I'll leave you guys with this. I am who God says I am. And beautiful and lovely people of God, I just want you to know that you are too. So never doubt yourself. Never doubt the greatness that God has put inside of you. Give it all to God. Allow him to give you the freedom you deserve. And if anybody ever asks you, how did you make it? Or, You know, when you start speaking more positive to yourself, regardless of where you're at, and they try to ask you who you are, just let them know, I am who my Father says I am. I love you guys. I thank you guys for watching this video. Now your boy about to go celebrate his birthday, man. I love you guys so much. Have a blessed one.